Then we study the near-death experiences. If anyone of you have experienced the near-death experiences or out-of-body experiences, Carl Jung had out-of-body experiences. Look at his memoirs. A friend of mine, his wife, he was professor of physics at Purdue. His wife, Hemaji, she had out-of-body experience. She shared with me. And not only that, in fact, somebody that you may know, I don't know whether it's Dr. Patel, should I tell the name? Dr. Srikant Thakkar. He had out-of-body experience. He transformed totally. He did not know anything about Bhagavad Gita. He didn't want to read the Bhagavad Gita. He didn't want to go to temple. And after that experience, he said, oh my goodness, my eyes were open. Dr. Srikant Thakkar. And he's writing a book on his experiences on Bhagavad Gita. Let's look at what you call the very, very simple way of, because many of you may be bored about my talking. So let me give you some very, very, very interesting field here. Look at the water. Have you seen the water? Anybody who has not seen the water? 70% of water on this, in our body, and around 70% the water body on this planet. There's a correlation. Water is the source of life. That's why we're looking for water on other planets. Source of water, sustenance of life, and of course, death also through water. I'm not going to talk about that. But anyway, look at the water. Hydrogen molecule, oxygen molecule. They meet together. And I call this is I call the Gyana Kshetra. I'm trying to differentiate Gyana Kshetra, Yoga Dharmic Kshetra. When I know, okay, these are, and I know the quantum structure, I know their microstructure, I know the chemical structure, I know atomic structure, everything. If I know all this, go to micro scale as much as we can go, this is the Gyana field. Gyana field, what did I get out of this? Knowledge at different scale, how the water is going to behave on that scale. This becomes the Gyana field. And then Yoga Dharma field, define each state what is going to be used for. For example, if water, instead of giving you water, then good. Instead of giving you liquid water, I give you vapor, water vapor, to quench your thirst. Will you be happy? This is called the Yoga Dharma Kshetra. When certain entities have certain properties at different levels, micro level to macro level, what property is important for me to use, for my good use, and that property and that entity comes under the Yoga Dharma. That becomes Dharma of that water. So this is very important. Look at the food. These are the new terms you will not be able to hear or read anywhere. I'm creating a new field of yogic dharmic tradition. For example, look at the Sattvic field, for example. Knowledge of all ingredients and the process. Don't you think so? I need to have a recipe. Recipe for what? You want to make something. I want to make what you call the barfi or rasgulla. I have to have a recipe. I have to have process. This is the what you call the Gyana Kshetra. And once we have, and this is the Gyana Kshetra is what you call the, once we have knowledge gained, and made that, so I know, yes, I want to make gulab jamun. I know how to do it, what to do it. I don't have to worry about asking, investigating all the ingredients. I already know. This becomes the Gyana Kshetra. And then once we have prepared everything, If it doesn't taste good, if it is not healthy, are you going to eat it? Throw it. Let us start from the Vijnana Kshetra again. Let me start. And once it becomes what the good taste, good health and happiness it creates, oh my goodness, I will hold that, and as soon as I hold that, that becomes the dharma field. Exactly I know that Rasgulla. I am going to travel 50 miles to get Rasgulla from that place. Don't you think so? We do that. Do you agree? This is the meaning of Gyana-Kshetra, Vigyana-Kshetra. And what this yoga is, when you mixing things together, making things together, this is the yogic process. And I call this the Adibhautik yoga. 3 yogas: Adibhautik yoga, Adhyatmic yoga, and Adibhautik yoga. I call the Adibhautik yoga, and if you want to differentiate further, Adivedic Anna yoga, Anna Brahma hai. My dear friends, in brief. So, let's look at another very important concept, what we call the logical proposition. There are 3 kinds of primary logic proposition. Classical logic, true and false. Is sunny today? Either true or false. We know that. Then quantum logic. It can be, a statement can be true, it can be false, it can be true or false, neither true nor false. These are the Vedic categories. And I will, in the later slide, I will tell you, keep in mind, fuzzy logic. That's the Vedic category. Now let me give you a little story behind it. And I will need additional 5 minutes if you don't mind. I request everyone my folded hand. 1964, University of California, Berkeley, professor of computer science and electrical engineering. He wrote the first paper. Classical logic comes from true or false, 0, 1, 0, 1, computer logic, true or false, true, 1. It comes from the Aristotle, the Greek tradition. We followed that. He said, no, this is not going to work. He devised a new logic. And this new logic, when the paper was published, my fellow mathematicians, many of them ridiculed his work. And that is if you have too much more of the scientific establishment, then I can give you another lecture to tell you actually what the scientific establishment is. He was rebuked. He said, throw out, this is not logic. Logic is Aristotle logic, Western logic. But slowly and slowly people started figuring out, no, it has merits. And they gave name fuzzy logic. I don't call the fuzzy logic, I call the real logic, where the classical logic is to a special subset, a special case of this real logic. And one example is, and Dr. Patel will tell you, I used to go to the doctor, how much pain you have? Either you have pain or you don't have pain. Do you remember? That's how the categories were. Either you have pain, you don't have pain, or I have little pain or I have a lot of pain. Now you go to doctor, they will give 1 to 10, rate your pain. Where does 1 to 10 come from? Where does scaling come from? This is the fuzzy logic. And our Vedic wisdom founded on quantum logic, on fuzzy logic, where there are special cases of the classical logic. We never, there's a lot of work available in the Sanskrit language. We never brought out to any of these anyway. Thank you very much. So let's look at the Hindu civilization failings. Primary forces and are 2 internal forces, external forces. Most of the time we have a tendency to hear external forces. The invasions came, outsiders came, they invaded India, they ruled India, they did this to India, politically, in every field. Perfectly all right. It did happen. It's still happening. But I'm going to talk about internal forces. What are the internal forces? Decay and disappearance of Vedic tradition. Vedic tradition disappeared after the explosion of Bhakti Yoga, 16th, 17th century. Vedic tradition disappeared. I'm talking about tradition, culture I'm talking about, not individuals. There were individuals who were doing a lot of good work and have been doing good work. I'm talking about the culture, the tradition itself. Decayed and disappeared. No significant attempts have been made to look at the unified ground, unified principle. No significant attempts are made to re-articulate and to bring out the vriksha or the trees of the knowledge from the seeds scattered around the Vedic Vedanta. Some people, some Swami, some Acharya left the Vedas. Oh, I don't want to touch the Vedas. Somebody left you, somebody said, I will focus on you. Somebody said, I will focus on the Puranas only. Somebody will focus only on this one. Somebody will, so minute observations, minute focus. Nobody looked at the big picture. I challenge you. You challenge your own masters and many Swamis. They cannot hold on to meeting international level because their knowledge and their training is very limited. And they do not, many of them may not have contemporary understanding how the experiences of the modern world are. So how can you relate? No further discoveries like synesthesia or many other fields. I'm not talking about. All were frozen in what you call in sandstone. All were frozen. Majority of them were frozen. No value. If you talk to, you can go and talk to the people. Commitment and sincerity. Corruption, pollution of the uprooting the wisdom tradition by untranslatable Sanskrit words. But by chance, I don't know what. It's a Kalchak. Is a Yogeshwar, grace ke yoga is still retained. Otherwise, no technical terminology, no ideas which are better to express the ideas. And also you will find out the Guru Shishya Parampara has failed. It had created trap. हमारे गुरु हैं, हम आपके गुरु की बात नहीं सुनेंगे. हम तुम्हारे लेक्चर हो रहा भगवत गीता का, कौन कर रहा है? भगवत गीता से मतलब नहीं उनको. They have nothing to do with Bhagavad Gita. Who is doing the lecture? Then I will go accordingly. I will select. That kind of differentiation and separation is a fundamentally flawed thinking, and that's what the Guru Shishya Parampara has done. Trap. It has retained the wisdom to some extent, but it has also created a trap. So look at the idea of after 1947, total neglect and ridicule of all traditional wisdom traditions. I wish that as soon as we got independence, so-called independence, we could have what you call start the Renaissance. Look at our wisdom, bring it forward. No. Why? You may call it independence. 26th January is the Ganatantra Divas. You may call anything you want to. I will not call, and I have given actually such talks in Delhi University as well. I told them that no, this is a simply transfer of political power from white side to brown slaves. Nothing changed after 1947 for good. Tell me, what did we learn from our own tradition? Lot of work in this world is being done based on our tradition. Lot of appropriation is being done. put in a new bottle, new terminology, and then we will follow them, because blinds always try to follow blinds. That's the state of affair, and that's the feeling of collective feeling of Hindu civilization. Calm and earth became very prominent. Honey, I love you. Kids do not listen to us. People are complaining to me all the time. Parents are complaining, why they should have to listen to you? You have nothing to communicate to them, in their language, in their experience. Why they have to listen to you? They have to listen to the iPhone, the smartphone. They have to listen to the Google. They have to listen to their colleagues and friends. They say, don't listen to your parents. If you go back to the fundamental principles of philosophy of the education system, they started in this country by John Dewey, you will come to know what I'm talking about. Yoga explosion is a good example. Be retained somehow. I don't know why and how. In fact, Marymount University, in Los Angeles, LMU,
Chris Chapel.
Marymount, Loyola, Marymount University, they have undergraduate, graduate program, a special program, yoga. They give degree, they give certificate. And this is the strongest statement one can make. And I will give you a little background. I have communicated with Dr. Nicholas and Theodore Nicholas. Vedas are very old, my dear friends. I come from Vedic tradition. Veda is very old. Even the Chanakya commentary of 16th century is very old. They are far removed, away from our experiences. The kind of language they use, the kind of metaphor they use, the kind of idea they use. I learned about the Rig Veda or all the Vedas from Dr. Satmalekar, who was given a padvi called the Brahmarshis, Dr. Satmalekar, in Hindi translation. Then I have a lot of other translations, English and all that. But I learned a lot from these translations, including some of the best thinkers and writers from the Western world, including Antonio de Nicholas. I have communicated with him through the email. I think a few years ago, I think he is no longer living. My guess is this. I tried to contact him, but he may not be, or he may be too old. He was professor of philosophy. Actually, he taught, and he wrote a book on Rig Veda. Oh, it was eye-opening for me. It was eye-opening for me. He identified the basic themes of quantum logic given in Rig Veda, which I had speculated. But somebody I wanted to have some idea what was going on. And then Patrick Heelan, he was a quantum logician, world-renowned quantum logician, professor at the same university, New York University. He wrote something that you will not see anywhere else about the Veda. He said, my goodness, if you understand the Plato is the iconic figure in the Western philosophical tradition. What his name is, Alfred North Whitehead. He was professor of philosophy at Harvard. He is supposed to be the last disciple of Platonic tradition. Highly analytical. And he said, Patrick Heelan said, if you, Western philosophy, Alfred North White said that entire Western philosophy is nothing more than the footnote to Plato. Can you believe that? And he said, but behind Plato is the Veda, Rig Veda. Entire Western philosophy, including Rig Veda, is nothing more than an extended footnote. Can you believe that? He created a new idea, new momentum out of the Rig Veda. He said, I have born many times, I have died many times learning through the Veda. That is what meaning of the birth and death is. It's a romantic. Challenge the people, challenge the institutions. And many other philosophers and thinkers followed his advice and his inspiration to further contemplate on and further work on the Vedic tradition or Vedic tradition. Can you believe that somebody can say the entire Western philosophy? And remember what used to say, what the Charvak, remember there was a long time history of the Charvak philosopher. And they say, Vedas are nothing but bunch of nonsense. Who should I believe? Should I believe Charvak or should I believe Patrick Heelan? Should I believe contemporary thinkers and writers? Because we have now quantum mechanics. That's where the first time entanglement took place of consciousness and material world. Who should I believe? And you're also, Charvak philosophy is another parallel. In the Greek tradition, only there were 4 elements, tattva. There was no akas. Can you believe that? We have the akas as the foundational tattva. And you know nowadays, emptiness is the akas is empty. No, dear sir. It's full of fields. Higgs field is the ultimate field, so we have found out so far. It's full of Higgs field, where all the material world came from. A scale of 10 to power minus 28, 10 to power minus 30 meter scale. My goodness, what are you talking about? There's nothing there. And Charvak said, nothing is there. Greek said, nothing is there. I said, no. Vedic wisdom said, that's the source of all manifestation. I'm not going to talk about today. Thank you so much. So, my goodness, let us learn together. Let's eat together. Let's sing together. Let's laugh together. Let's be serious about something. Whatever experience you have, bring it forward, proper language, proper diction, with humbleness, bring it out. How can you bring it out? Yatra Yogeshwar. Remember all the time, we need 2, Yogeshwar and Arjun. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Partho Dhanudhara, Tatra Srivayayor Bhutir Dhruvani Tirmatir Mamai. Sattame Vijayate, Sattame Vijayate. My dear friend, I'm stopping now, and with my folded hands I bow down to all of you, including my wife. She is also one of my gurus. And I'm asking for some dakshina. Are you ready to give? And my dakshina is only blessing to this guy. Blessing to me. I am crazy. I am pagal. One line of song I will give you what I am really. मैं पागल मेरा मनुआ पागल वो पागल मेरे गीत रे मैं पागल मेरा मनुआ पागल पागल मेरे गीत रे बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद listening to this crazy guy. He was so kind. I need your blessing. My journey will continue and you will be great inspiration for me to continue my journey forward. In the world of Vedic rishis, in the world of modern rishis, I contact and I get blessing from around the world. Whosoever is doing something wonderful, I call them, I try to contact them, try to read them, and see which branch of the yoga tradition, which branch of the Vedic Vraksha they are sitting on, I offer my pranam to everyone. Samast charachar ko mera pranam, samast charachar ko. Dhanyavad.
Thank you so much for a very, very enlightening lecture. We'll start question answer session. Please, raise your hand and.
Yeah, I have little listening problem, so if you can correct me what the question is.
Okay. And
you will repeat the question.
Yeah, I'll repeat the question.
Oh,
You'll repeat the question.
that's-
Yeah, for the
that's-
recording.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. So, okay. Thank you.
No, that's fine.
Okay.
You can come here.
So that's fine. I think I can. So my question is, so right now the Hindu Samaj is very disconnected from Veda. Forget the rest of the world.
Yeah, that's right.
So if you want to make an impact,
Yeah.
and if you want everyone to start learning on or bringing their focus on Veda, what is the most powerful subject or area that we can draw their attention that whatever solution you're looking for, Veda has that solution. Look here. How we can make an impact?
That's a good question. His question is that if you want to go to the original source Vedas in modern world, how do we look at it? What we should look for in the Vedas? It's a brilliant question. How we can relate to the Vedas? It's a great question. And since Vedas have what we call Vedas are spoken in terms of what we call the compressed files. In several hymns, the Vedas produce the hymns, and several paradoxes appear in the same hymn. Several paradoxes. Because why the paradoxes are there? Because several levels of information, several level of wisdom, as the level change, the wisdom change, the idea changes, as the level changes. So they have been compressed together and make up what you call the paradox. Okay, let me give you an example and suggest you this. Based on individual's life experience, sit down. That's what I do. I do my yoga, very different kind of yoga, discovering new dimensions in yoga. Sit down whenever you get time, at least once a week, quietly, privately, to yourself, by yourself, for yourself, isolated from every other distraction, and think through your life experiences. Okay, real life experiences. Write them down. Okay? Okay. Once you start doing this practice, eventually the experience will become more meaningful to you. Based on this experience, that idea, that wisdom, then you start looking at your family members, how they think, how they respond. Okay? Make a kind of a brief chart, cataloging and all that. Okay? And then you say, okay, now how do I? You cannot start with the Vedas. You try to look. Or I think I would suggest everyone to have, if you know Hindi, the best authentic learning that I had is from Dr. Satvalekar.
Who?
Satvalekar, Dr. Satvalekar. On all the Vedas, he has done very elaborate commentary in Hindi. Also, if you want to look at the English, Dr. R.L. Kashyap, who was professor at the Purdue University, electrical engineering. He is a good friend of mine. He's quite old now, but he comes from what you call the Tikapal Sastri tradition, Aurobindo tradition. He had done lot of translation in English Okay? Do not try to understand the Vedas first. Try to look at over and see what catches your mind based on your understanding. Focus on this, let's work it out. That's what I will do. Yes. Yeah.
I was referring to your slide on the fuzzy logic.
Yeah.
I was watching a interview of Sundar Pichai at Davos, that World
Uh-huh,
Economic Forum. So Google will definitely domesticate the quantum computing within 5-10 years. I want to understand from your homework who is working on the fuzzy logic from the Vedic dimension point of view, who is developing a new computer language on it,
Yeah.
or algorithm on it.
Okay. I have not come across anyone yet because it has not been in publication, wide publication yet, who has done that. But I will try to find out. One of my students, who was a physics graduate, he did masters with me. Okay, and the concept, I was in the Department of Biomedical Engineering, as you know, also. So I was looking at what you call the paradoxes in ethics, professional ethics. So I asked him, well, you are a physics graduate, will you take this challenge? Let's work together. So we worked on the what you call whether we should have a cloning or not cloning. This paradox. How do we decide? Simply by raising hand? No, it will not work. So let's work. So we developed what you call the fuzzy logic algorithm. Okay, idea. And then we did the evaluation. That yes or no, how we can answer. So yes or no answer is not the good answer. This answer is a classical logic answer which does not work. Because most of the new machines, they work on fuzzy logic. They do not work on 1 to 0. 1 and 0 is the classical logic. So I will try to find out about you and so, you know, and we'll go from there. But yes, let me give you the classical example in the modern time. If I ask you light, visual light, for example, is a particle? Some will say yes, some will say no. Is a wave? Some will say yes, some will say no. Okay, look at this. This is very beautiful. You know, you ask the question and I'm taking your time. I'm sorry, you just shut me off. This is a wonderful question, okay? Because I think some others will understand what I'm talking about. Okay, you say, is the wave as well as particle simultaneously? Some will say yes. I'm talking about the physicists who work in the area. Some will say no. So then, what it is? We don't know. This is a what you call the quantum logic. And Veda is full of the quantum logic.
He is saying that we can better simulate the nature through the quantum computing.
Yeah.
With the quantum logic.
Computing, yeah.
But my personal opinion is no, we cannot simulate the nature with the quantum logic. We can simulate with only the fuzzy logic.
See, the fuzzy logic is a subset of quantum logic. I'm giving you some very deep insight. Okay, I cannot prove here right now. Okay, so the quantum logic goes context dependence. इसका meaning ये है context dependent. आई है ना? मेरी पत्नी मुझे डांटती है. मेरी पत्नी मुझे she scolds me. She gives me hard time. आप कहोगे, what you telling in the front of everyone? You cannot evaluate it. If you evaluate it, normally that's what we do. Linear thinking, you start evaluating. And we have really oh my goodness. Indians have converted themselves through English language to linear thinking. Okay, I don't want to bring it. To immediately think, oh my goodness, his wife is very bad. और हम इसमें ये जोड़ दें कि मेरी वाइफ मुझे इसलिए डांटती है कि स्वास्थ्य के लिए रोज 1-8 घंटे की वॉकिंग जरूरी है. तो आप क्या कहेंगे? डांटना बहुत अच्छा है. बदल गया? The meaning is trying. So actually the quantum logic is context dependent logic. And that is what the greatest discovery came out of the Antonio de Nicolas. Sometimes if you have a time or if you have interest, I can talk about the linguistic foundation of the Veda, Rig Veda. I can talk about it for 1 hour, 2 hours. You give me time, it will open up your eyes. Oh, this is what is going on here. Yagna आप दो देखते हैं. What is really meaning of yagna? और भगवान ने जो है भगवत गीता में, oh my goodness, स्वाध्याय यज्ञ का नाम ले दिया. कुछ लोग स्वाध्याय यज्ञ करते हैं. Do you know what is स्वाध्याय यज्ञ? Give me time, sometime, invite me. Even if you are in your family, 1-to-1, we can sit down, we talk about what do you mean स्वाध्याय यज्ञ? Oh my goodness.
So is one of the niyama of Ashtanga Yoga Swadhyaya?
Wherever, my free seva is there. I have my card, so you want somebody's card, I have my card. मेरी तो सेवा है. मैं तो बताया ना पागल बन जा रहा हूँ. बस्ती बस्ती पर्वत पर्वत गाता जाए बन जा रहा हूँ. लेना हो सुनना हो नहीं सुनना हो घर चलो. हाँ भैया दूसरा अभी और किसी ने उठाया. Yes.
I don't know we have time enough.
Yeah.
You mentioned Vedanta and Sankhya. How can we say that Vedanta excluded Sankhya? How can Vedanta survive without the evolutional theory of Sankhya?
That's a very good question. I did not want to dwell upon it because we don't have time. I have actually given the statement Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. Okay? This is only one particular branch of Vedanta. Okay? I do not subscribe to that idea. Okay? And I think Shankaracharya also did not subscribe that idea. There was a particular big context under which he wrote that. Because, let me give you an example. The Upanishad tells me, if you simply stick to the Upanishad tells me, Brahma is a Marta Brahma, Amarta Brahma. Shar Brahma, Akshar Brahma, Mahat Brahma. How can I exclude the Jagat? Jagat cannot be Mithya. Then you say Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya, which Brahma Satyam? Now, another very important. Shankaracharya writes very wonderfully, the commentary on Bhagavad Gita. Okay? There is a sloka in Bhagavad Gita, Asatyam cha apratistham cha jagadari nishara. Who say the Jagat is asatyam, that's mithya. Okay? Apratistham, without foundation, that's. And Jagadahanuisha, it means without Ishvara. This is called the Rakshasi Vritti, Daitya Vritti. This is not a wisdom. This is the ignorance or conditions. So I didn't want to comment on that because that whole yoga tradition will collapse, whole world will collapse. And actually this has been propagated incorrectly by the followers of Shankaracharya tradition for the last 200 years. It is a misquoted, misleading statement. It should not be repeated unless you give 1 hour lecture. Okay, and the similar ideas are being, I did not talk about today, similar ideas being raised in the idea of what you call mind-body issue. So sometimes you give me time, 1 hour, 2 hours, I will talk about mind and body.
Man Buddhi.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, sir.
Excellent. Enjoyed your talk thoroughly. Okay, the question I have is, there's so much discussion going on, colonizers versus colonized,
That's correct.
outsiders versus insiders.
That is correct.
And outsiders looking at the insider, outsiders looking at our Hinduism.
Yeah.
And it's they who are talking about Hinduism.
Yeah.
We really don't have much going on about Hinduism in our academia. What in our academic institutions? What are your comments about it?
Repeat the question.
Hinduism in
What is not going on in Hindu?
Okay,
In our
I can-
academia.
Huh.
So she's saying why in academia we are not talking about
Okay, yes.
Hinduism in
Yes,
academic
yes.
institutions?
I tell you, there are historical regions, there are political regions, there are ethnic regions, and there are national regions. There's 4 bigger regions, why academia?
Which one is the fourth one? Which one is
National regions. National, see, the concept of nation in the Western world, they have a different history, different experience than we have. In concept of nation in the Western tradition has something to do what Hitler did. Okay, very, very carefully. As soon as the Western Europe, as soon as the concept of nationhood was developed, it means we are superior. We are superior. This nation, we are superior. That's what the difficulty is. So what the people who are not aware of the Hindu tradition, okay, they think as soon as the Hindu becomes aware of their own tradition and they become the Rashtrabhat, nationalist, they may do the same thing as what was going on in Europe for the last 2,000 years. That's the one fear, one question mark. The other regions are this. If you look at the academia in the humanities, okay, our Hindu wisdom tradition was thrown into Department of Religions, which was the greatest tragedy happened. Wisdom is lost, philosophy is lost. Only they were sent to religion, and as soon as you say religion, they are out of wisdom, they are out of religion, they are out of science, they are a bunch of fools. And we ourselves agreed to that. So Hindus, so-called Hindus, they agreed to that. Why? Because we did not even want to change the language. Hindu Dharma is the Hindu Dharma foundation. If you would have been Hindu religion foundation, it would have been disaster. So what happened as soon as, see, I was in Department of Humanities, comparative studies, humanities, where I studied and did research and talking and teaching and all that in Department of Humanities, comparative studies, where I was dealing with the Abrahamic traditions, including my own tradition. I know it. I have given, talks in the I have given talks in the synagogue, for example, churches, but the only church that will not invite me is Southern Baptist Church or Catholic Church. All other churches will invite me to give talk, and I will quiz them on their tradition. I say, tell me what you understand your tradition, then I will compare and contrast. So we have not done that. Most of the Indian kids and Indians do not go in that department. They do not study the Vedic wisdom tradition at all. Because there's a part of religion, they do not get any good salary, so economic considerations. Okay, we don't want to send our kids, to those schools and those places. We want to be doctors, engineers, CEOs, all the computer scientists, which is good. I'm not suggesting that. But then and there's no connectivity. We have not developed. Another problem, if you look at the humanities department, very majority, I'm talking 70–80% are leftist or ultra-leftist. Okay, so this is so I know what is going on in those places. So when you claim that you are talking about Hindu wisdom, you say, well, okay, we have seen our Abrahamic tradition wisdom, and we have been fighting with each other the last 2,000 years. We don't want to see that. We want to have what you call the ultra extreme leftist vision. Okay. So they will not let you. That's why the New York Times, for example, Washington Post, for example, they will always criticize. No matter what you do, Hindus, whatever you do, they will always criticize. Oh, you are putting a temple. They are very nervous. You are a temple. That's the other thing. We have failed in every major failure. Not individual talking about. We have made a major failure. Even how many? I think more than 1,000 temples in Northern, America and Canada, more than 1,000 temples. If you go there, I'm giving you, very, very, because I have been associated with the temples. Okay. Even simplest thing in the temple, ask them, I challenge it, ask the priests, ask the people, ask the Om Bhurva Swatasya Viturvaryam Bhargo Devasya Dhimai Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Tell me the meaning and what has to do with the theory of knowledge. Not connected. So Vedic wisdom tradition have not been connected to any experiences that we have in any field of knowledge. We have not connected because we did not do that. We do expect others to do it. No, they will not be able to do it. So also another very important thing, I'm not contrasting East and West. I'm talking about the thought process. Okay? Western thought process is a subset of Vedic thought process. And I will not elaborate on, just keep that in mind whenever you want to talk about Western. I am learning, if I would not have come to America 40 years ago, I could not have learned much about my own wisdom tradition because we got trapped. It's too remote from my understanding and thinking, my experiences. Too remote. I started with Greeks. Here, when I came 40 years ago, she took care of all the family business. Means bread and butter, this and that, my only son is she keeps me all. Well, you do whatever you have to do. I have churned myself in and out. And this is what I do. I'm sorry, I'm talking too much about myself. I have done so many experiments on myself, psychological, by myself. If I start telling you, you will be scared. Because I wanted to learn myself firsthand what is going on. So we have failed in every sector. That's
so, we have discussed so far what has happened because of which such and such has not happened. Moving forward,
yes.
How can we introduce Hinduism in academic institutions in India? Because it has to start from
yes,
there.
Yes.
Otherwise, it's always outsiders looking at Hinduism.
Good point. And this is a point that requires really a lot of thinking. Because what we had to do, we had to prepare our